What is up, guys? Long overdue video here, something a little different. It's time to replace this garage. So this video, I don't know where it's gonna go exactly, and I'll try to put chapters and timestamps down below in case you want to jump around. There will be a ton of talking, so I apologize if you don't like that, then definitely scoot on out of here at this point now or skip to another chapter. But let's just dive on in. So I'm gonna do a tour of the inside of this garage and kind of some of the yard before I go knocking this thing down and taking everything out of it. A lot of people have requested that over the years, so I definitely owe you guys that much. Wouldn't be able to be tearing this down if it wasn't for you guys watching the videos and checking all this stuff out. Hugely appreciate that kind of thing. So I bought this house over 10 years ago, and first thing, I loved that there was privacy in this yard. Like, I had arborvitaes here, and then I put this row in, and behind us we have no neighbors, which is just awesome. And well, this garage, had no power in it, and it was sinking. It's 3 inches lower on that side, messed up pad, bunch of termite damage, but I said I can make some money out of this. I'll use it for now. Planned to replace it, but then as the years went on, I said, man, why am I going to invest more money into this place? I put these carports up, but you can remove those real easily if you want, but why am I going to dump tens of thousands of dollars into a new garage when this thing works fine, and quite frankly, I've outgrown this yard? Well, now I've gotten to a point where last year I said, if we haven't found a new property by now, I am going to replace this, because recently we had a hailstorm come through and it just took the shingles out. I mean, it's getting some leaks. It's got a lot of termite damage, a settling foundation. I will show you all that, but I mean, otherwise it really does still work fine. For it's not high enough to put a lift in. These are only 7-foot walls. This was probably built in, I'd say, 60s or 70s. Aluminum siding. Definitely a home job. I mean, somebody poured this pad in little sections and they've all settled. There's no aggregate under it, or I'm sorry, like stone or anything. And if you listen to it, it's like, that's solid. But then as we go around, it's got lots of hollow, there's one, lots of hollow points in it. And I'm getting some water in the back too. So anyway, let's jump in the tour. It's gonna be real scatterbrained, guys. That's just how I am. But I figure before we go turn this up, let's take a look. You guys can pretty much look around and check things out for yourself. So I guess I'll just really, it looks like a hoarding collection in here almost. I mean, I try to keep things neat, but once you get, I have too much stuff, realistically. It's hard to keep things organized, remember where everything is. It gets a little crazy. So we got jack stands, your air hose, the power reel, and main switches, alarm, and all that over here. Extension cords, a tire balancer. This table, you can see, I mean, when I got the waste oil heater, I picked this up for only, I think it's like $400 or $500 used. Great piece, best money I ever spent on that. You need to maintain it every year and clean it out and stuff, but this keeps the garage warm. Little overkill, it takes up a ton of space. It should really be mounted up high, and it's just taking up that whole table. We got the main tool cart, which is basically a direct match to the one that I had at my mechanic's job. I came home, did side jobs. I knew where everything was. It was super convenient. People ask where I've gotten all the tools over these years. So this is the other toolboxes. And I did want to show you, like, I write down everything, tools and garage, so this is, I'm not going to go through the whole list, but I mean, every little thing I buy, mostly at flea markets, I write down when I got it, how much I paid. And sometimes I'll cross them out if I end up reselling something, but all the maintenance and everything on the house, it's just, used to write everything down, not as much anymore, but got pretty crazy with that. And these are some notes that I was like keeping about the garage all these years and different things to consider. It's just man, this is like mind-blowing that I'm finally getting ready to tear this down. It's kind of, it's a little stressful, to be honest. Like, I've got this set up to where it's just perfect for me. I don't really feel like dealing with moving all this, and if I am, I feel like it should just be into a new place. I'm just trying to give you some real world insight into how I feel and how this whole project's gonna go. So we got our waste oil jugs. You guys remember one of those caught on fire once. Behind it is the waste oil drum for what I burn. A pressure washer and AC/DC arc welder that I pretty much never use. A lot of this stuff I don't use very often. You see we got some chemicals, the blaster, surface shield, some jacks, a drill, just random tools all over. It's got an 8-inch triple wall stack going out for the heater. And books, you know, when I got into mechanics, we worked out of manuals and then occasionally go online on a forum to try to find an answer you couldn't figure out. But of course, don't use these too much anymore, but still good to have in case you can't figure something out, or whatever, if we lose power or something, the internet, you know, and you can't rely on the internet too much. You look at our electrical panels. It's going to be a shame to rip that all out because that took time to make perfect and good. We get the dualing compressors. And some people say it's a bad idea to feed 2 compressors into one tank. I completely disagree. This is a dual stage to get higher pressure. That's a single stage 2 piston. It'll pump it up quick. You can fire both up at the same time. They have plenty of safety valves. Good to go. 6,000 watt heater. I mostly use this for if I don't feel like firing up the oil heater, or if we want to run a load bank on the generators outside, the diesel generators. You got a bead blaster. You guys can see what's on the shelf. You know, I don't need to name every little piece here. This is the ultimate fuel caddy. I've showed this in videos before. Pretty much thought of all the angles when I did this. Comes in handy. This is the main welding cart with the Miller 211 Harbor Freight cart, been modified, has a shelf on the side. I think, yeah, I did a video on that too when I did it. Being like, oh, this is great, check it out. Oxyacetylene setup, the press, which is a little buried, but you don't need it too often. Motorcycle lift. I was doing a lot of motorcycle stuff for a little while, but now you can see it's more of just a bench because my benches are covered. And this is all gonna get wrapped up before I go tearing the garage down. Mostly Jeep parts here I gotta get on hopefully this evening. This is kind of a waste of space, you know, this wood collection. I don't know how it got so out of hand. I mean, I just keep putting stuff and then it builds up. It's like I try to not be a hoarder, but that's how you end up. This file cabinet is pretty much all steel, and hopefully the lighting is good enough for you guys, but all stainless steel, angle, square, flat, round bar, and then heavy steel on the bottom. Got a planer, another electric reel, some random stuff. You know, I just keep stuff, guys. It's if I see that I could use it in the future, which I do end up using it, I'll keep it. I don't use it all, but you know, it's not junk. I mean, this is all nails and screws and zip ties, sealants, all that kind of stuff. Spare parts. These are kind of just interesting parts that I remember they told a story when I took them off. I don't know, that could probably just go in the trash. We got the new ultrasonic cleaner. That's been working well. I already showed you this side, the tools. And then up top is a bunch of bicycles and storage, that kind of thing. This, never been used. You know, I basically got this for clearing snow off the roof in case we ever got a crazy snowstorm. I said with those carports out back, yeah, I can't take 3 feet of snow on them. They'll collapse. So if we get a storm like that, I'll be out there cleaning. This is from a East Coast Kawasaki motorcycle shop I used to work at. Actually, so is the bench. When they closed down, I went there, bought this off Gino Ferrante for pretty cheap. Of course, you ain't gonna lift much where it is now, but yeah, I've lifted some stuff with it. It works. I think that pretty much wraps up this main room here. Thank you guys for this, all the subscribers. Maybe one day even break 1 million, who knows. Over on the front wall, this is the other bikes and some ropes and whatever. So coming in, this is what I consider the parts room. It's funny, my brother was just over the other night. He said, how have you not knocked this out by now? I don't know, never really bothered me. I step over it. He's like, why don't you repair the crack? Like, it's a stress crack. If it don't crack, it ain't concrete, and clearly it had to relieve itself, and so it's fine. Coming on in, this is chains and straps, miscellaneous, and you can see it's turned into just a pile of stuff on the ground. You know, we got nuts and bolts and hardware up in here, the thread gauge, metric and standard. A pisser, which is very important because when it's 0 degrees out or below freezing, you don't want to be opening that 17-foot door, losing all your heat. So you just pee in here and then flush that out. I'll definitely carry over to the new garage. I don't know if we're doing plumbing or not. Kind of not building like a dream garage, just gonna get it done basically, because this place, as you'll see later, is kind of rough. Usable, but anyway, fluids, grease, more fluids, miscellaneous chemicals, refrigerator that I used to always keep stocked, but then I turned it off to save on the power. I got, you know, wire, funnels. I mean, how many funnels does one man need? But I guess I got a funnel addiction. I do use most of them. Rope and string, which is, there we go. The wheels drawer, which is spilled out in front of it. I mean, that's like, what are you doing? Not gonna go through all the parts bins and all that, but as you can see, the metal collection has gotten out of hand. And then this is just spare parts wall. It goes from spare oil burner parts, the house heating system, stainless steel. This is all stainless in this entire thing. Rubber, miscellaneous rubbers, more wires. This is mostly house wires and cables, garden hose and adapters related. You got plastic bags, straps and bungee cords, abrasives, mostly all sandpaper, emery cloth, and you know, and then some spare parts and stuff, a lot of which I may never use, and you can see why it gets out of hand. As I've mentioned in previous videos, when the Sears Hardware went out of business, I went ahead and got these cabinets for basically next to nothing, and then I relabeled them and put all my stuff in there. And see, some of these, you know, I have a hard time closing them, like the exhaust clamp drawer. It gets a little crazy, but believe it or not, I use this stuff all the time. It really comes in handy, especially with making these videos. So while it might look like chaos, I guess it kind of is, and it's not going to be fun to move. I got these off of Javier down in Philly. Oh, yeah, I'll never need another yellow spade ever again. These are really heavy duty. This is one of my favorite bins, all miscellaneous gauges that I've collected over the years. A lot of really nice industrial type of stuff. You know, electrical connections. I mean, we got things like golf balls. You guys have seen the seashell drawer. Some of this is just nonsense, but hopefully we'll use those in some future videos. I think that pretty much wraps up this room. Over here we got, you know, I can pull every drawer and show you, but hose clamp collection, drivetrains, horns. That, I believe, wraps up the main tour in this garage. You know, I'm gonna miss it. Let's go head out back real quick, and then I'll talk a little bit about this garage. So I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with the grading. It's about 3-inch difference from there over to here. I think we'll just knock it down first and then figure that out. It's not going to be far off from the existing footprint, except for 12-foot walls, which will be really nice to be able to put a lift in. Gonna hopefully keep a parking spot in between the two buildings, and yeah, we've already done pretty much a backyard tour before, so I don't think I need to show you that. This one was from Carolina Carports. They came out, they built it, I did the foundation. They did a nice job. Had some problems with the first one, then the trusses were sagging by like 3/4 of an inch in the center, and then they took care of it. They actually replaced them, and I was able to put this up with some of the spare materials and the pallet rack, and I got on Marketplace. This one put up myself, did a video. Well, my buddy helped me a little bit on it too, but hanging some of the sheets, that was a pain in the butt. Don't put one of these up yourself if you buy one. Definitely get the free installation and wait as long as you have to. Over here we got the Chevelle, still waiting for the title on that. Maybe I'll have it by the time this video is done. The bees are still doing well. It's gotten pretty chilly today, so they're getting a little quiet. I don't really mess with them too much. I did just put the honey super on because they were getting a little crazy, and I didn't want them to abscond or swarm at the wrecker. So yeah, that's pretty much the backyard tour. This is future. Will it run on a boat, and I don't think it's going to need too much. It might have been a 2-person job, but got it off. There's silicone crazy across the whole top. We're next afternoon and got a little update. As I'm tearing this apart, anything that doesn't have paint or isn't plywood, I'm just kind of burning it, burning the whole garage down. I did start ripping the siding off, and that'll be some good scrap. But you can see behind, you know, this really did have extensive termite damage, especially down toward the bottom. Underneath the aluminum is this foam. I'll bag that up, get rid of it. And then unfortunately it does have the asbestos, so we'll have to look at getting those off safely with not too much dust and get rid of them. You see termites came even all the way up here. Wait till you see how much is behind the carpet insulation on the walls in there. Like here's one small section. You see how many termites were really up in this wall behind. I think this is like old school carpet insulation, and that's what that's looking like. I mean, it's completely through the sill plate, and it's really a wonder this thing stands as stout as it does. But surprisingly, like I think I was showing you the other day, I mean they've kind of got everywhere on it. Oh, I'm gonna keep going to town and burning one piece of wood at a time. Burn as much as I can, because a dumpster's $520 for a 20 yard, and it's only 2 tons you can put in there. So that's probably going to be like the shingles alone. I don't know how much they weigh. I did look at using my buddy's dump trailer, but even with that, it's still $120 a ton to dump this stuff. So, you know, burn what we can, right? This big old pile of junk's going to have to get moved. You know, I've had nothing but bad luck with this sniper on here. The injectors, sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. You give them a little tap and usually they'll come to life. Or not. Oh, it's a good way to cut your face. Whoever installed it on this side of the building either skimped on the nails or I don't know, but that came off a lot easier than the other side. Got the aluminum all strapped down. I wonder how much this will be. My guess is like maybe 200 bucks, something like that, along with these railings, which I hate to scrap. I actually had them on Marketplace with the feet and all those ramps for dirt cheap. I'm hoping we can find a buyer for them. If not, I'll just keep the ramps and, you know, unfortunately get rid of these. I mean, these are so good for material, for welding stuff. I can't believe nobody bought them off me. And as far as this Weather Pro awning, I mean, if you guys are ever looking for a good awning, this thing held up to the test of time. The way it works is it's got this big heavy duty spring on one side. It gets, you know, wound up, and then a ultra heavy duty little motor. Well, very heavy. This thing is like super duty, and I had this for many years. It was already used and beat up when I got it, and I put a new fabric on it. Just really a top quality piece. But you can see after I hit that with the tow truck, it's not round anymore and it stopped working. And had this up for sale too, 30 bucks. Nobody took it. Off to the scrapyard.
This crazy guy is burning his garage one piece at a time.
This is the old Trenton iron, now Alpha Recycling. This used to just be mountains of scrap metal everywhere, and it was not paved. It was during rainstorms, it was terrible, but you can see they paved the entire place. I think I mentioned that before. I was able to sell the ramps and the railings, so this is going to be strictly just the sheet aluminum, and then I have some odds and ends. But I'm going with, I don't know, 200 bucks would be nice. We got little mini docks in there. How much? Some behind the scenes here, repair shop. There's the mountain of shredded metal. He's got me backing up to the aluminum pile. Usually if you don't have that much, you just go to the metals room, but and we got that all floated. In case you guys ever wondered what happens to your old electric motors, look at that. This guy's hand unwinding the motors. That's so cool. Okay. Look at that, wow. A lot of work.
Yeah.
This guy just got done doing a scale calibration. It's calibrated. We had 340 pounds aluminum, 52 cents a pound, 176 bucks or 250 total with all the other stuff. Not bad. And I just forked that cash over for 12 of these really sweet galvanized wire racks that I can put on those shelves to be able to load everything on. Looking for some galvanized uprights and beams too, but the guy got those off. He wanted a little too much, so I'll keep looking. A little update on this, just again, kind of been burning one piece at a time. I got rid of all the asbestos siding except for up top. I'll get that. Let's see where the new, I forget if I showed this already, but when I pulled this off, I mean, there's actually a squirrel nest or mouse nest up in here. I mean, look at this building. Like, this whole place is completely detached, and I can't believe the carpenter ants or termites or whatever were eating this plywood as well. I didn't think they even liked plywood, but this must have just been getting wet all those years through here, and you know, they like moist wood. I was just walking out front, and look who's hanging out up on the motorcycle. Is that your new nap spot? He's always finding a different place to nap. Kind of just keep the Africa Twin under here, under a tarp. It's a pretty sweet system. It's just a pipe going over there, and there's plenty more tarp, so if this ever tears through, had one hole where the mirror is, but you can always just pull more out. Easy peasy. And it makes a good little cat home, right? Right, Turbo? Progress. Today, whole day, major progress. My buddy Tyler stopped over and we emptied everything out of this. So it took the both of us non-stop 12 hours. But this is the way the garage was when I initially moved in. I even found my old organization for steel that was just buried in piles of other metals. And here's a look at, this was an extension put on, so here's a look at the original roof up there. Yep, we went ahead and took all the wiring out, so kind of reversing what me and my buddy Adam did many years ago. And I did want to show you guys one of the other big reasons knocking this garage down. You see this foundation wall? I don't know how well you can see it with this lighting, kind of holding the light up, but it has cracked and settled down about 2 inches or an inch and a half or so along the entire perimeter of the wall. I mean, it's sinking, and it's definitely got worse since originally bought this place. But yeah, there's a few other spots. That's kind of the worst of it. Got this old camshaft. Can you guys guess who I am? Oh, I can't believe that broke. Oh man, what YouTuber did that? Oh, totally ready for the knocking down. Even turned off the electric, put that out on the side. I'll just cover that with a piece of metal for now, along with all my other important stuff. Like the tools are gonna stay along the driveway. I got to get tarp over top of this, you know, keep easy access to them. And then the entire garage has just been put into these shelves. Like, it was organized for a while, and then it just got insane. It was like, you know what, just get the crud out of, get the junk out. It continued on into the carport. I mean, this stuff is heavy. We had to take drawers out, a lot of it, to be able to get it out. And I know it doesn't seem like a lot of work, but you know, it's gonna be fun putting it all back in. It's time to go crack a beer, relax. Next day is gonna be demo day. One. Done. Well, that completely smoked the Diablo blade, going through a couple layers of shingles, the old GE portable circular saw. General Electric, all aluminum construction. Kind of a cool piece. I actually got this at the flea market with it, thinking this is great for cutting through metal. Put a carbide bit on there. Made in USA, 9 amps, Bridgeport, Connecticut. Let's see what the Milwaukee has to say about it. You got the fresh Diablo 24 tooth. This is actually 13 amps instead of 9 amps. Should be able to zip right through it. Yes, that worked much better. Also helps if you cut a straight line, you know? And we got 2 layers of shingles on here. I was hoping to save some of these. Oh yeah, these pop right off. Jen was saying she might want to do some fun project stuff with this. What do you think? Is the roof material worth saving? Yeah.
I want to save all these pieces up here too.
All what?
All the roof boards. I want to make like signs and cute stuff out of it.
She said she wants to save all of it.
Oh, look at this door.
No. No.
Why?
The door's going in the trash.
Is
oh
that
wow,
original?
look at all those beehives
Jeez,
there.
look at that.
Yeah, oh, I'm sorry, not beehives. My daughter's wasp nests, you know.
Wow.
I always call everything a beehive and I get hammered in the comments for it. No, we're not saving those. Those are shot. They're plywood anyway.
I'm liking these pieces with where the pegboard used to be. I'll probably make some signs out of that.
On that note, I guess we'll wait till tomorrow and get the shingle shovel off my buddy so we can rip those off first. Would probably make more sense. That way keep all the full lengths. Now let's move the 2-stroker and get rid of these rocks. Put these back here. This had these called goose rocks, goose egg rocks all behind it. Probably a few of these. I'm trying to salvage everything I can, you know. There's no sense in dumping those. I mean, these are, you know how much these cost? Yeah, it's like this puzzle back here. I don't know. I guess we'll just drop these right here for now, right? What the heck? My words, I will one day do something with this 1,700-pound hunk of cast iron and metal. Probably close the emergency flapper that way. No bees go in the intake or anything. Cover up, good to go in 20 years from now, right? The nice thing about these old dirty diesels is they're not gonna rust up in the cylinders. You know, it's all soded up, all sloppy. Yeah, about this last bit of asbestos siding. Get rid of it. Looks good. Now it's time to go enjoy the rest of the Sunday. And tomorrow is knockdown day. I don't know if you can see them, but these darn wasps are going all over my toolboxes. Probably going inside the drawers trying to make a nest. Well, that took about an hour and probably would have been a lot easier with a roofing shingle shovel or coming up, but whatever. Yeah, we got it done. Now it's just a giant mess on the ground. Certainly regretting doing this because we should have thrown the tarps down. I figured it would come off in bigger chunks, but the second layer under there was just so brittle. Nails, staples, screws, shiplap, getting the shovel constantly stuck. Good stuff. Tip my hats to you guys that do this for a living. It's hard work. It's not even that hot out too. What's it, 75, 80? I can't imagine doing this in 100. And the dumpster just arrived. Good to see. So we can load all this junk into it. Anyone.
Try not to hurt myself this time.
Where's your N95, baby?
What?
Where's your N95 mask? You want one? You got it. Save every last piece. Here, I'll. Nice work. All right.
One of these little ones.
Now doing that on the roof, as you can see, is a little hard overhead.
Yeah. I got a little one. So
Yeah,
looks
go ahead.
Like I have a victory.
Good.
Good.
Definitely the hard way to do this. So this addition was probably put on in the 70s or so, and with the old roof was left here, there's this nook all the way up top, and I always heard mice. I'm like, where the heck are they? I could smell them occasionally. Boom. Had a little nest right up top. Look at all those years and years of droppings. Like this, these guys just kept coming back. Wow, that stinks so bad. So that's where they were. Don't leave nooks and crannies, because they will get there. You'll never get them out. And if you can't already tell, we're definitely doing this the hardest way possible, a little piece by piece. You know, probably should have just got a mini axe and tore it all down. Okay, the buildings are separate from each other, kinda. a good garage for many years, served its purpose, but time to go. Timber, last time standing. Kind of went as we planned. Get moving.
Did it.
Here's your boards. They're much easier to access down here in case you want to get some more of those for all those. For the fancy.
Make a little fort now. We'll make like a tree house out of it.
Yeah.
Looks like the Wizard of Oz house.
I thought you
Tornado City here.
Yeah.
Stop. Are you gonna run it over now?
A little bit, yeah, I guess.
Stop.
Coming along good. Burning a little bit of the leftovers, including the wheelbarrow apparently. You can't even see it on the camera.
Took the scooters, got a pizza. Chris
Good.
looks like a chimney sweep.
It's good work today. Thanks to the friends helping out. Some Modelo sitting in front of the hotel that we're not staying at.
Look at you!
If anybody asks, we're in room 139.
Look at your hands. You look like you.
We're good to go.
How's your pizza, Keegan?
Gone. It was that good.
Next afternoon, just did some cleanup and now we have to address this pad. So I called a couple demo companies. They want a lot of money to remove this and they're all like 2-3 weeks out minimum, especially with the holiday coming. So I did find a local guy, well, he's about an hour away, and he said $800 for the day. He'll come out, help me. He's got a Bobcat with a grapple and a dump trailer. I think that's gonna work good. I'll run some cuts today and hopefully that goes smooth tomorrow. We can dump it somewhere. But here's an idea of the rough layout. We're gonna have 6 feet between the deck. I'm pushing it over a couple feet. 23 feet deep. This is gonna be the walk-in door and then a 16-foot door, which is the same as before, just moved down a little bit. And it's gonna come down to here. This is kind of a temporary shelf, so at the end there'll be a good gap between these. Maybe do a permanent shelf on the side of the building. And I know a lot of you guys are probably thinking, why don't you put the garage all the way in the back? Well, so you can see it would be a lot of stuff to move, and quite frankly I've always loved the garage right here because you can walk right out the door into the shop, in and out all the time. As if I'm editing a video and I need to run in there real quick for a clip, it's instead of running all the way down the yard, because sometimes I do have to run down there and I'm like, man, I'm glad my garage is not all the way down there. You can see why these walls settled and moved so much. They never did a proper foundation. They literally just put it right down on the dirt, and I mean there was no anchorage to earth, so not good. But hey, it held up for all those years. I mean, it was only every year, you know, we get a pretty deep frost line during cold winters, so this thing definitely was heaving. Tell you, if you're ever gonna buy one of these digging bars, spend the money to get like a really high-end one, because the Harbor Freight ones are junk. They just bend. Knew I kept that torsion bar for a reason. Basically an indestructible spring for that purpose. Heck yeah. That's wedged in there pretty good. How about on the 1970s addition wall? I wonder if they did a footer for that. Oh yeah, they did go down a few rows. Yeah, there's at least 2 rows. So they did a more proper job, we'll call it. The point of taking all that out was to do a little test pull-in with the largest vehicle I have, the Ram, because yeah, that's why I went with the 16-foot door. I mean, with having anything over there, that makes it even more difficult, but pulling in this skinny yard, it's not going to be easy. Might have to put the lift actually on an angle too. But we'll find out here. I can pretty much pull it in one shot. Have about a foot up front and, you know, a foot out back, so it will fit in the garage, but unless I put it on an angle, there's not going to be enough room. I don't really plan on working on a vehicle this large in this garage. This is just, you know, an extreme example, but you can pull it in and then squeeze between her. No prep under the driveway. They put like a dusting of some kind of gravel down, and then you get about, you know, 1.5 inches of this course. But I mean, it held up, you know. It had all sorts of bellies and potholes in it. It's definitely not the right way, but it worked for all those years. So let's see if this machine can pop these right up or not. We shall find out. Oh yeah, very nice. No rebar, no nothing. I was worried there might have been rebar between them or something, but it's no problem. I just went to dump the first load, hoping to do this in 2, maybe 3. I was guesstimating there's maybe 7,000 on there now. He thinks it's closer to 9, but we will see when we get the receipt. Look at this clay. This is like, you could build little castles out of this or something. I mean, wow, this is really moist ground. It's unreal. Like even over here, there's standing water down in here. Yeah, who'd have thought? So definitely have to do some kind of drainage on the back side of here, because I used to get water in the back of the garage all the time, and certainly gonna need a nice gravel base and plastic underneath to keep this moisture from, you know, wicking up. Look at this. That's some clay soil there. Ended up being 7,500 pounds, dumped it over at KPK, and it's $60 for a dump trailer. Doesn't matter how much is in there, so I guess it pays to have a larger unit, you know, just do it one and done. But I think he said the payload on that is 10,000, but he was afraid of it not being able to dump if we go too much more, because he had that problem recently with dirt. Slab. So you can see what a proper footing looks like, whatever you want to call it, but you know, generally double the width of the blocks you're putting on top. So instead of a knife edge getting poked in the ground, it's like a flat edge and it won't sink. It did a nice job. Unfortunately. Because more money to get rid of it. Last one. I don't think he's gonna be able to back out with it though. Now look at all that water coming out of those blocks. Hey Goose Man, how are you? You holding that pee all morning or what? Has he been out or no?
No.
No? Oh
No,
man.
he was barking at me.
There's lots of new sniffs in this yard. Yep. And there is the final product. Gus is doing his sniffing inspection. What do you think? Any good smells around here? Probably not. I mean, look at this. Look at it. What do you think about this, Gus? Play-Doh. And that'll wrap up the demolition portion of this project. The footage was several weeks old, but I finally got around to putting it together. The new building's actually already up, but I'm gonna do a video on that, maybe on the second channel. I don't know. I figured I would put this one on the main though, because so many people were asking over the years to see a tour of the interior and such. So all that and more in this video there was. Massive thank you to Jen, Tyler, Greg, Keegan, all you guys for helping me out with the demolition, a helping hand that helped so much. And obviously thank you to everybody watching these videos. If you're watching this far, thank you very much. You can see Jen did want to save a lot of the wood, so hopefully maybe do some giveaway things with that in the future. I don't know, coasters, bird houses or something, but that made it to be a little bit more time consuming taking everything apart. But I'm very happy we saved these big 2x6s and all the planks. You can't really see it that well in here probably, but concrete is next. If you happen to be near the Philadelphia area, you do flat work, concrete work, feel free to shoot me a quote if you'd be interested in doing the job. 23 by 32 is the size of the building, going with a 6-inch pad, 12-inch on center rebar, probably number 4 rebar. I don't know, I still got to do some research on that. But the truth is, the weather's been so nice and just taking advantage of that and trying to wrap other projects up too. So, I'm not in a huge rush. Right now, the ground's settling, the building's up, everything's good. I don't think I'm forgetting to say too much. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Thanks very much for watching, and see y'all soon. Like the 8.3 ISC. Cummins, baby. I tried doing it, she wouldn't let me.
You little weenie.
He bit his ear.
Alright, Ghost, you ready for the good stuff?
Well, you found those soft pieces of food. They make no crunch noises. Bless you.